Good morning and welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration. And it's a beautiful sunny December day in St. Louis, Missouri today. And I wish you all a Merry Christmas if you celebrate that coming up soon here in just a few more days. And if we don't get snow for Christmas, that's okay with me. I like the sunshine. The older I get, the more I realize why people move to Florida and the warmer places as the weather gets colder. Okay, today's topic is going to be a controversial one maybe. Because I'm older, I notice things that maybe some of you younger guys don't notice. And also because I've traveled around the world in quite a few different places, I notice differences in American women and women from other countries. So, we're going to talk about what happened to American women. Okay, if you're young, you probably don't know what happened. You're probably thinking, what does he mean, what happened? Well, let me tell you what happened. When I was young, and I know that was many years ago, let's say back in the 70s, my mom and all the other women that I knew, of my mother's age, of course, went to the beauty shop once a week and got their hair done. They wore skirts and slacks. My mom wore blue jeans and tennis shoes sometimes when she was going out in the woods to go fishing or to pick mushrooms, or sometimes she went hunting too. So she did that. And when we went to town, we didn't see anybody dressed in sweatpants, flip-flops. We did use flip-flops. We call them sandals for the beach. Or if we went to the river, sometimes we would go to the river and go skiing. The point I'm making is, back then, everyone dressed nicely. The only people we seen dressed like the majority of people I see out now in Walmart and even in the airports, there was one poor family in the area that I lived in. I lived in a small rural community. I think the town population was only 3,000, so it was small. We were outside of St. Louis, still where I am now, but it's more of a suburb of St. Louis. Now everybody moved out here and they drive to the city, in the center of the city, to work and around the area. So there was one poor family, and actually there's only one of those boys left, and they dressed pretty shabby. But now everywhere I go around here, unless I go downtown St. Louis, right in the center, I'll see people dressed because they're office workers. But it's just amazing how unkempt the women are. Okay, I don't notice the men as much. They're probably not much better. But I'm not looking at the men, okay? But I suppose if you were gay and you were looking at the men, you may experience the same thing here. But I look at the women. So they go out in a pair of sweats, a pair of flip-flops, and some shirt. Sometimes it's clean, sometimes it's not, with some writing on it. They pull their hair up, and that's the way they go out. My first wife back in the 80s, she would go to work. She worked at a pizza place, plus she went to school. She never went to school without putting makeup on. She never went to work without putting makeup on and fixing her hair. She was an artist with makeup. She didn't wear too much. I like makeup, not too much. Some of the Ukrainian girls wear a lot of makeup, too much for me, but there's some beautiful women over there. But speaking about Ukrainian girls and girls from like Colombia, South America, different places around the world, Lithuanian girls, these women dress nice. Okay, just look on the dating sites and look at the difference between the way the American women dress and the women from other countries dress. Even in the airports, I notice it. I notice it with men and women in the airports because there was a time when I go through the airport, I always at least wear a jacket, okay? Nice shoes. I don't wear jeans. Nothing wrong with jeans, but there's a time and a place for everything. People judge you by your appearance. I don't care whether that's fair, right, wrong, whatever. If you don't like it, go talk to the big guy. That's just the way it is. So if you walk up to a place and you're dressed shabbily, guess how you're going to get treated? 9 times out of 10. Now, if you dress yourself nice, it shows and demonstrates that you respect yourself. As I've said before, it's amazing how people will take care of their cars, keep them shiny and beautiful, but yet go out, they don't comb their hair. Maybe they don't even brush their teeth, I'm not sure. They don't wear nice clothes. They wear a pair of old tennis shoes, and it's incredible the way people dress now, to me, because I saw something different. I mean, look at the Army. They don't dress them shabbily, do they? Everybody is sharp. Okay, it shows respect, it shows honor, it shows discipline. That's one thing dressing nice shows, discipline. I always dress nice when I go out. One time, I took my kid to school in a pair of pajamas. I thought, man, if I got pulled over or something, I'd be so embarrassed. I did it once, that was enough. I used to make a joke. I'd put a pair of pajamas on, old tennis shoes, and some shirt with some writing, and I would say, hey, I'm ready to go out. I'm ready to go to Walmart. But as I said, even in the airports, I can pick out the American women just by the way they're dressed and the way they act. They're not very disciplined. They're pretty loud, pretty obnoxious. Now, I'm not talking about all American women, but I am talking about the biggest majority of them. That's not to say there aren't some women from other countries that are the same. Usually, I think most women from Western countries or first world countries tend to act that way. Like I said, that's not to say there aren't exceptions, because I know there are. But the majority, and I'm talking about the majority, I'm generalizing here because we all generalize, we all group people into certain categories. And so that's what I'm doing. But the category used to be, when I was younger in the 70s and the 80s, was girls dressed nice. I mean, they dressed nice. They didn't wear slacks and skirts all the time, of course, but they wore nice jeans. They would wear something besides tennis shoes, flip-flops, or Crocs, these Crocs. But see, if you grow up with that, you think that's okay. Okay, and then we got men complaining. We have so many simps out here. And when I look on the dating sites of the girls in America and what I see out here, I think that it's just, I'm so unimpressed, but I'm used to something better. I know a higher standard. And as I said, this doesn't include every woman. I'm not talking to every woman. If you take care of yourself and you dress nice and you're sharp when you go out, my hat's off to you. Thumbs up for you. That's what I'll say. But these girls, okay, think about this. You meet a girl, let's say she's pretty, but she doesn't do anything with herself. She doesn't take care of herself when she goes out. How do you think she's going to be after you hook up with her on an LTR? Or if you marry her? If she doesn't take care and respect herself now, do you think she's going to do it after she has you locked in? Of course she's not. So think about that when you hook up with one of these girls. And here's the deal too. I'll blame it on the men for not holding the girls to a higher standard. You got so many guys simping over girls that aren't even attractive, that don't even try to make themselves look attractive. They don't have to be attractive in the U.S. Guys just go for them. I mean, take example, some girl, I see girls post these photos on Instagram. They're not, I'd give them a 4 and they get like 50 likes within an hour or two. What the hell is that? They're not dressed nice. They don't, it's amazing. Okay, now a lot of people say, well, you gotta like a woman for who she is. Are women gonna like men for who they are? No, they like men for what they can do for them. I have a daughter, 14 years old. If I had a choice between her coming home with a guy who was from a rich family and this boy was in college or he was doing something or he had a job and he was going to school and he had plans and goals, as opposed to a guy that just came here and he didn't do any sports in school. Actually, he dropped out of school. Hey, I'm a high school dropout too. But he's not doing anything. He parties, he hangs out. He's been in trouble a few times, had a DWI, been in trouble with the law. Now, which one do I want to choose for my daughter? I want to choose the one who's doing something with his life. And in the same way, us men want to find a woman who takes care of herself, who's beautiful, who respects herself. Because what you appear to people on the outside many times reflects what you are on the inside. And I'm not talking about looks. I've seen guys that aren't good looking pick up some really beautiful women because they had something on the inside. I'm talking about who you are. Many times inside. Not how you dress. How you dress a lot of times reflects the type of person you are. Are you disciplined enough to get up every day, make your bed, brush your teeth, fix your hair, and go out? For a man, that's really, maybe trim your beard. That's all you really have to do. Clean your fingernails. Just a few things. Walk with good posture. All these things connotate discipline. They display discipline. It's the same way with women. When we look at women, you know, do they take care of themselves? Are they exercising? Or do they just let themselves go? because that displays the kind of lifestyle they have in other areas. Let's say what you are in one area is how you are in all areas. There's some kind of a saying. I'm not quite sure what it is, but it's something. How you do one thing is how you do everything. There's some truth to that. So if you're a disciplined man and you're a high value man, it's going to be difficult for you to find high value women in America. I mean, they're out there. There really is. And when I'm talking about a high value woman, men really don't care if you got a PhD or a bachelor's or all that bullcrap. Now, what that does display is a woman with discipline. But as far as her earning income potential, men aren't interested in that. Unless there's a guy who just wants to stay home and be a house mom. But most men aren't attracted to that. I know a lot of these women, I'll see them on dating sites posting, oh, I'm going to college, I'm doing this, I'm in engineering, I'm in that. As long as they're not sitting around on the couch eating bonbons, getting fat, a man doesn't really care much about that. Men usually marry or date down anyway. They're not looking for someone has a higher education or who is more successful and accomplished than they are. That's just the way it is. So I guess the point of my video here is it's up to us men to hold these women to a higher standard. If you fawn over these women when they don't take care of themselves, when they don't dress well, then what motivates them to do any better? If you go to other countries where women still feel like they need men, or actually they still respect and want men, you'll see them dressing nicer, taking care of themselves better. They may be a little overweight, but they go out dressed nice and they look good. They know that that is what men are attracted to. But here, we have so many simps, I believe, that the men aren't holding women to a higher standard. That's like I said, a fat, ugly, out of shape girl can post herself on Instagram and get 50 or 100 likes because you got guys out there simping. Now, I've been fat, so I'm not bad-mouthing fat people. Don't want to get in trouble for shaming anybody. I'm not shaming anybody. Overweight, fat, it's just a word I use, okay? Everybody's so easily offended nowadays. I've been fat. I got body fat on me now, okay? I'm not obese, but do I think obese people are bad? No, I don't. I have friends that are overweight, okay? I'm just not attracted to that in a woman. Some men are. Some men aren't. When I was in Guatemala, I owned a brothel, okay? Or I had a brothel. I didn't own the building. And most of the guys went after the overweight, obese women. That's just what they liked. Well, there was one girl in there that was really fine. She didn't get much business. She was thin, trim, like I like them. They weren't too interested in her. They liked the fatter, obese girls. But I'll say one thing about the fatter, obese girls there. They dressed nice and they wore makeup and they looked good because they knew that was their value, whether in the brothel or out of the brothel. So that's something to keep in mind. Women will never step up unless you hold them to a higher standard. And it's up to you as a leader, if you're a man listening to this, to do that. Don't allow, don't allow yourself to accept less than you desire. It's up to you. That's all I got for today. Thanks for joining me. If you'd like to get my help personally, marksinspiration.com, and subscribe and like. And I'll see you tomorrow.